In the near future, a great war destroys the world. Now, Earth is a post-apocalyptic wasteland known as the Lost Lands, and what's left of humanity lives in a single city. They're ruled by the Overlord, and the church keeps order. One day, a woman named Grey is about to be hanged for being a witch. The Enforcer uses her as an example of what happens to those who defy the church. But after the Enforcer leaves, Grey uses magic to make a soldier hallucinate. He sees himself being hanged. Panicking, he shoots the rope to save himself and ends up freeing Grey. When the Enforcer finds out, she kills the bewitched soldier and leads a hunt for Grey. While the soldiers search the room, Grey hides in the shadows and takes them out one by one until only the Enforcer is left. Grey corners her with a knife, and the Enforcer dares her to kill her. But instead of a quick death, Grey hangs her. As she walks away, the crowd parts and calls her the witch that will not hang. Meanwhile, Boyce rides alone on his horse. He stops at a tunnel, sensing an ambush. He says it out loud, and sure enough, a group of men comes out. One of them tries to grab Boyce's gun, but it's rigged with a two-headed snake that immediately kills him. Boyce then claps his hands to summon his guns and quickly takes out the entire gang. Before leaving, he picks up his snake. Back to Grey, she finds shelter in a tower and leaves money for a blind woman who recognizes her by her kindness. Later, they're visited by the Queen and Jarais, the captain of the Overwatch. The Queen wants to buy the power to shapeshift into a wolf and pays in fancy jewelry. Grey never turns anyone down, so she agrees. She explains she'll hire a hunter to kill a shapeshifter and take its power. The deadline is the next full moon in 6 days. As Grey prepares to leave, Jarais also tries to buy a wish. He wants Grey to fail the Queen. He swears loyalty to her, but believes the power will destroy her. Grey thinks he's just jealous, but still accepts the job, taking his timepiece as payment. Grey then casts a spell to search the Lost Lands. She sees a group of men trying to fight a massive wolf, but they're all killed in seconds. Meanwhile, the Overlord wets himself again and calls the Queen for help. She insults him while summoning the maids, clearly fed up. Later, she kisses Boyce, revealing they're having an affair. When Boyce tries to sneak out of the castle, the guards stop him. So he spits alcohol onto a torch, lighting one on fire, and kicks the other down the stairs. Later at a bar, Grey finds Boyce and tries to hire him. He's known for surviving the Lost Lands. Boyce just wants to gamble, so Grey plays him and easily wins the first round. He's still unsure because most people don't survive out there. Grey tells him that if she slows him down, he can leave her behind. Boyce then tells her about a giant wolf that lives at Skull River. The name matches Grey's vision, so she promises to pay him with a timepiece if he takes her there. Suddenly, soldiers enter the bar. One shoots from above, but Boyce throws the snake at him, killing him instantly. The Enforcer arrives and kills the snake with her knife, but Grey and Boyce have already vanished. At the church, the Patriarch reminds everyone that witches and heretics must face justice. The crowd pretends to pray while secretly passing a rebel note. After Mass, the Patriarch reveals he knows about the note and realizes Grey has become the rebellion symbol. The Enforcer brings in the blind woman and stomps on her hand until she confesses that Jarais and the Queen visited Grey. The Patriarch orders the Enforcer to capture Grey and make her confess to manipulating the leaders, then hang her. Out in the Lost Lands, Grey and Boyce camp for the night. Boyce tries to catch a new snake, but doesn't find one he likes. The next day, they reach a trading post run by siblings Mara and Ross, old friends of Boyce. Mara kisses Boyce before inviting them in. Grey explains she needs the shapeshifter's power in just a few days. Boyce decides they'll take a dangerous shortcut. The next morning, as they leave, Boyce warns Mara that she and Ross are the only friendly faces in the Lost Lands. Meanwhile, the Enforcer and her soldiers begin searching the Lost Lands by train. The Queen confronts the Patriarch for sending the train and soldiers without her approval, leaving the city exposed. The Patriarch brushes her off, hinting he's heard rumors of her betrayal. Later, he calls the Enforcer and confirms the Queen is lying. They must capture Grey quickly. If the Queen is arrested for treason and the Overlord dies soon, the Patriarch can take control of the city. Soon after, the soldiers find Ross and Mara. They torture them until Mara reveals Grey and Boyce are heading to Skull River. Then they kill the siblings and burn the trading post. The next day, Grey and Boyce reach the Rift, a ruined city filled with chasms. They find a building with a cable car and search for the driver, who gives rides for payment. But they discover the driver has been hanged. The soldiers got there first. As they try to leave, the Enforcer and her men surround them. They say Boyce can go free if he gives up Grey, and show Mara's body to prove they're serious. Just then, Mara wakes and says Boyce's name, so the Enforcer shoots her dead. Furious, Boyce opens fire. Grey slides in to kill a soldier and steal his guns. Together, they shoot down all nearby enemies. Gray and Boyce keep fighting, taking down as many as they can, but the numbers are overwhelming, and Gray runs out of bullets. They try to run, but the train fires a cannon. Luckily, they dodge a race to the cable car. Boyce shoots the reel to release it while soldiers close in. Gray and Boyce fight hand-to-hand to keep the enemies from boarding. More enemies climb onto the roof. Gray quickly climbs up and uses her blades to defeat most of them. Enforcer makes a soldier cut the cables. The car now hangs off the side, and Gray uses her blades to hold on. Gray and Boyce begin climbing the rocky wall and manage to escape the car just before it falls. The Enforcer opens fire and hits Boyce's shoulder while he's still climbing, but Gray has already reached the top and uses her powers to distract the Enforcer, allowing them to disappear. That night, Boyce removes the bullet from his wound, and Gray stitches it up. Boyce thinks about his lost friends and swears revenge on the Enforcer. Before they fall asleep, they watch the colorful lightning in the sky. The next day, the Queen learns she's pregnant. She knows Boyce is the father, but pretends it's the Overlord. Now that she has an heir to secure the throne, she places a pillow over the Overlord's face and suffocates him. Meanwhile, Gray and Boyce reach Shadow's Bane, an area filled with demons at night. They hear the Enforcer's train coming for them, so they're forced to stay. They hide inside a cooling tower and destroy a bunch of cans to spill gas on the ground. When night falls, the tower lights up and a demon attacks. Boyce throws a lighter on the gas, creating a ring of fire around them. Soon, more demons enter the tower, and the duo opens fire, but the bullets aren't effective. The demons place a metal plank across the fire to form a bridge. Boyce blocks them by kicking a gas can and shooting it. As a demon jumps with the explosion, it tackles Boyce, but Gray pulls him back by stabbing the creature with her blades, while Gray throws a blade at another gas tank. This time, the explosion is massive and draws the attention of the demon leader watching from above. The leader and its minions jump down and attack both humans. The leader calls Gray by name, saying she shouldn't have returned. Gray uses magic to push him back, then shoots fire from her hands and controls the fire circle to grow into a huge fire tornado, burning all the demons, including the leader. Afterward, Boyce says he couldn't feel the flames, and Gray explains they weren't real. She used an illusion to make the demons believe they were burning, causing them to die from a placebo effect. She reveals a powerful treasure is hidden there. Years ago, a man hired her to steal it, but the place was so corrupted that it turned him and his men into demons. The next day, the Patriarch announces the Overlord is dead, but the Queen is pregnant, and the baby will be the new Overlord. The crowd doesn't react, so Jarais fires into the air to force them to chant in support of the Queen and her child. Afterward, the Patriarch kneels to the Queen, promising to advise her, but privately insults her and tells the Enforcer to hurry. The Queen is also plotting and kisses Jarais to manipulate him, hoping to use his army for her own goals. Boyce and Gray arrive at the fire fields. Boyce says they'll reach their destination the next day. Fighting the shapeshifter will be dangerous, so Gray suggests Boyce take his payment and leave. He refuses and asks her to return with him, but she can't. She's cursed to accept every mission. The next day, while crossing a tunnel, they hear the train approaching. Unable to outrun it, they come up with a plan. Gray stands on the tracks and waits for the train to get close before running. The Enforcer makes the train chase her, unaware it's a trap. Gray leads it to a broken rail and jumps at the last second, where Boyce catches her. The train crashes into the abyss, exploding and killing the Enforcer and her men. When the Patriarch hears the news, he tries to rally his guard to seize the throne, but Jarais and his army surround and kill him and his remaining soldiers, leaving the Queen as the sole ruler. The next day, Gray and Boyce arrive at Skull River, an area covered in bones of the wolf's victims. They search an old building and find signs someone's been living there, but no one is around. Boyce tells Gray they should leave, but she wants to finish the mission. At night, Gray covers her fingers with silver claws and heads outside. Boyce tries to stop her, but it's too late. The full moon rises, and he begins transforming. He was the shapeshifter all along. Gray believes he led her here to kill her. Boyce's body grows, his clothes shred, and he becomes a massive wolf. Gray throws the timepiece at him before attacking with her claws. But Boyce is stronger and tosses her around. Gray creates an illusion of attacking birds, giving her time to hide. When Boyce jumps to strike the big bird, the illusion vanishes, revealing Gray stabbing him. Boyce tries to fight back, but he's too weak. After a few more strikes, Gray brings him down. As he raises his arms one last time, Gray moves in for the final blow. Seconds later, Boyce wakes up covered in scars. Gray gives him water and tells him to rest. Later, he wakes up in chains. It's revealed Gray hid silver under his skin during the stitches, slowly poisoning him. As she prepares to kill him, Boyce asks for a wish, reminding her she must fulfill any request. He wants them to be together and hunt to end their loneliness. Gray agrees, but warns there's a price. At that moment, the moon emerges, forcing Boyce to transform. Gray begins cutting open his chest. The next morning, Gray drops the timepiece on Boyce's grave and leaves with his pelt. When she enters the city, slaves chant her name. Guards try to calm them, but fail. The rebels pull down the church's giant cross. Gray gives the pelt to Jarise with instructions for the queen to use it for power. When Jarise says she failed the mission, Gray explains she killed the queen's lover, Boyce, and now Jarise can have her, which is his true desire. Later, the queen has a breakdown when she realizes the pelt belongs to the dead Boyce. Her dream was to become a beast to be with him. Jarise tells her Boyce corrupted her. Realizing she's been betrayed, the queen grabs a hairpin and stabs Jarise in the neck, killing him. The rebels storm the castle, killing all guards, whose bullets are useless against the mob. At sunrise, the pelt burns to ash. At the same time, Boyce's grave begins shaking. Sometime later, a revived Boyce finds Gray, intending to kill her. Gray confesses she always knew he was the queen's lover. She planned everything so the rebels could overthrow their oppressors and Boyce would survive. Boyce tries to shoot, but his gun jams. He attacks with a knife instead. Gray dodges, and they end up with blades at each other's necks. When Gray reminds him this is what he wished for, Boyce agrees, and now the duo leaves together to travel through the Lost Lands. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.